I think he's being portrayed a little differently. We're throwing around the term sexual predator, and your viewers and listeners may think that there's a sexual component, or that's the primary motivation of the offender, and it really isn't. Sex is a component, but really a small component. It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all about basically playing God, being in a position where you can control the destiny of your victims. The things that surprised me about this particular offender is when I first heard it was 3. That's unusual. I've had mostly two, and more times than not, it's just been one offender. And then when they eliminated the brothers, that was more like it, because now it fits some other cases that I did. But I've had some bad cases. You mentioned the Silence of the Lambs, where I helped the prosecution convict Gary Heidnik, who has kept his victims down in a cellar. Only difference between in the movie and real life was even worse. He would put them in a hole he built into his basement, filled it up with water, this pit, and then he would get electric wire and then torture and then killed 2 of his victims. He has many as 6 victims down there at the at the time. But it's really about power and control. It's a sadistic type of crime, and generally you don't start perpetrating crimes like this. Okay, he's 51, 52 now. He would have committed the crimes when he was about 42. Generally, there's a history of other violent crime in the background. I know he had trouble with his domestic violence about 2005 or so. These cases began around 2004. You're looking for a precipitating stressor or event that finally pushes the guy out the door, and he finally goes out the door and he starts looking for potential victims. But he's got the pre-planning. They're going to use insanity as one of the potential defenses, but he's got the pre-planning involved in this. He's not going to just abduct someone off the street without having everything all set to go back home. So he has the shackles. He has the means of boarding up the house so no one can hear the yells and screams. Just like Gary Heidnik, he would turn the radio on loud. He boarded up the windows. He put cinder blocks in the basement so they couldn't hear the screams and yells. And he too tested them like Arius. If any of them tried to escape, he then would punish them. But to do the interview, that's the thing. They wear this mask of sanity. You sit across from them, and you look into their eyes, and when you look in their eyes, they look normal, but then you try to kind of go back what that person looked like when he was looking into the eyes of the victim, and how his personality was totally different. So they can, and what's amazing is that they can live these 2 different lives. They can compartmentalize their life. They can be the husband and father of children in some cases, like the BTK Strangler, who I interviewed in Wichita, Kansas, and worked the case. But meanwhile, he has a job in the community. He wears a badge, but he's coming. Another job he had was with ADT Security, so he had access to the alarm systems that he would later go back and cut the alarms. But they can wear this, and I think that's what fools the public, is they think there's going to be some kind of a ghoulish-looking type of character that will stand out in the crowd. No, they look like you.